Dr. Nicola Dellinger, and here's another weekly invitation for you, and it's actually to do less and maybe even nothing. And the reason I'm inviting you into this, this kind of came out of I'm teaching the Become Your Own Best Friend program right now, and last week we were talking about the inner critic and how we feel so incredibly driven to do more, even when we're tired. How often do you use the phrase push through? And I can't tell you when I'm sitting with patients how often I hear, well, and I was able to push through that, and I made myself push through this, and how part of our world, this idea of pushing through being a good thing, or we're so driven to continue to work or perform, even when we're tired or even exhausted. But that voice comes into our head that says, you're lazy, you're not going to get what you want, you're not going to get the love that you want, you're going to be rejected by your people, you're not going to be welcome or valued or any of those things anymore if you stop, you know, churning out whatever it is, be it cleaning the house or picking up the kids or spending extra time on work or just answering that one more email or packing in another whatever into your day. And so we have created this culture of busyness because we are driven by the mind that tells us that we don't have enough, and B, the only way to get what we want and to not live a life of lack is to continually push and perform and do. And so this invitation is really a giant challenge to that, which is, can you get curious about what would happen if you let go, if you stopped doing, if you just took a deep breath and got into your wondrous space in your heart? I wonder what that would create if I didn't do the thing. Or what if you were to listen to your body and just ease up when your body tells you enough, or tells you, I don't want to go to that thing, or I don't want to take the kids to soccer, or I don't want to whatever it is. What would happen? What would that create? Step one is it's probably going to create a lot of panic. It's going to create a lot of panic from the place of the mind that goes, you can't do that. You have to, you have to, you have to. You must continue to perform, or you must continue to produce, or you must continue to show up in this way. But I think if you come into your heart space and allow yourself to relax and be inspired rather than driven by obligation, you will still want to participate in your life. You may still want to have a clean house or clothes that are clean, or you may still want to go to your job. You might actually find that you choose your career, and that you're actually really enjoying it, or you might start seeing the things that you love about it even more. But what happens when we move from this place of obligation is that we don't find that drive from within ourselves. So we're constantly looking outside of ourselves for the accolades, for the assurance, for the validation that we're on the right path. And the problem with this sort of externally driven fulfillment is that it is so very fleeting. And we might enjoy 5 seconds or 10 minutes of, oh, I did a really good job with that. And then it's like the relentless pursuit of the next thing is just chomping at our heels, and we're off to the races again. So many people that I see that are having insomnia are folks that are just chewing on what needs to be done during their subconscious time because they're so worried that if they don't do all the things that are on their list or on their agenda or in their minds, that they're somehow there's going to be this giant lack and we're not going to get what I want. But what happens is this pattern creates the signal of lack, which goes out into our vibrational field. And what we get is more lack. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough money to do the things I really want to be doing. So let me just, get over this another hurdle in order to, attain the next thing. But really, if you can step back and just ask yourself, do I really need to be doing this today? Is it really that big of a deal to cancel everything on my list, or to reschedule this meeting, or to look at what you have on tap for tomorrow and say, those 3 things I want to do and those 5 things I don't want to do, and I'm going to just follow that and see what that creates. And what you'll notice is that more will come into your life. You'll be able to drop into presence with your partner or your children or your colleagues or whomever and receive more from them. Or if you slow down, then other resources that you weren't expecting might come in. A friend can offer to take the kids to soccer practice, or someone offers to, have you over for dinner, or an inspired idea comes in and launches your new career in the direction of what you wanted, rather than staying stuck in something that you feel like you can't leave yet because of fill in the blank reason. So your invitation for this week is to do less and possibly even do nothing. I know I get really triggered when I see what I perceive as an injustice. I get called to action. I'm going to write an email. I'm going to have that conversation. I'm going to bring this to the light. It's very important for me and it hooks me still. But if we can sit in that and ask, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to respond today? Do I really need to address this? Is this my responsibility? Do I have to take care of this? So what I've been doing is, if I get a text or an email that I feel triggered by and I feel it in my body, I actually leave it. Whereas my old pattern would have had me address it right away, and guess what happens? I create a big old kerfuffle about whatever's happening. But now I'm learning to give things more space and more time, and come back to it the next day and see, like, oh, that text wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't actually need to address that, and that sort of thing. It just creates more spaciousness and more ease. I was talking to a patient earlier today, and her partner smokes cigarettes, and it was really bothering her. And she was, trying in all these different creative ways to get her partner to let go of tobacco. And it wasn't until she came into acceptance, like, listen, my partner smokes tobacco, and it's just the way that it is. And guess what? That partner quit this week. So we have been brainwashed and acculturated that we need to effort to have what we want out of our life. And this invitation to you today is to actually challenge that paradigm, that dogma, and ask, is that true? And what happens when I move out of very singular focus and broaden my awareness into all the possibilities that are out there for me, and receive from all resources? Checks start coming in the mail randomly. I got 2 checks last week that I wasn't expecting. One because we overpaid on our mortgage, and the second was like a $30 check for a utility overpayment. But it was money, and I was like, okay, and I really honored that, even the $32 check or whatever it was, that I'm open to all sources, I'm open to receiving. And so can you play in this energy of allowing rather than the driven? And I'm please, please, please tell me what this creates in your world, because I think the more we hear from other people that this actually does create more of what we want, the more encouraged we feel to check it out for ourselves. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're interested in working with me, either one-on-one or one of my programs, you can always check out drnicola.com, because I'd love to be in touch. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.